The symbiote has been a mainstay in Marvel Comics since its introduction in Secret Wars when it bonded to our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. More recently, we've seen the Venom symbiote get its own solo movie, but it also opened the door for the Carnage symbiote to make its way onto the big screen. In comics, Donny Cates has redefined the history of the symbiote, or Clintar, in what is one of the best comic runs in recent times. Many characters have bonded with the symbiote over years, but who were the most awesome hosts? Welcome to the Superior Comic Show. I'm your host Peter, and today we're going to be checking out the most awesome symbiote hosts. Now we're going to be leaving out Eddie Brock, Spider-Man, and Cletus Cassidy because they would be the obvious choices. So let's see, in our opinion, who are the most awesome looking or awesome skilled symbiote hosts ever introduced in Marvel. MacDonald McGargan, also known as the Scorpion. Now during the Dark Avengers storyline, Scorpion was recruited by Norman Osborn and informed of Spider-Man's secret identity. He was ordered to kidnap Aunt May if anything was ever to happen to Osborn. In the middle of his task, he was approached by the recently freed Venom symbiote, seeking a new host. Scorpion's share in the Venom symbiote's hatred for Spider-Man was the perfect host, and what was created was a much bulkier, giant-sized Venom. Scorpion's Venom was impressive. It was a more vicious Venom. He didn't have any of the morals of Eddie Brock. He didn't hold back. And their run was quite impressive. He makes this list simply due to the awesome look and the hugeness of this Venom. What a unit. Lee Price. Probably the most hated host of Venom. And top class scumbag. Forced with an eviction from his apartment, he was partnered in with McGargan to act as muscle for Black Cat's gang during an arms deal with Tombstone. After delivering the package, the situation got out of hand when Tombstone's men decided they didn't want to pay and wanted to talk some trash about Black Cat. So guns were pulled, and while Lee was unarmed, he did get saved from being shot when the Venom symbiote intervened. They were desperately searching for a new host, and Lee was in need. But when the symbiote bonded to Lee, he overpowered it with his will and, disregarding its outrageous protests, used it to kill everyone present, including members of Black Cat's gang, even his own childhood friend, in order to keep his possession of the symbiote secret. Lee then went on to have quite an abusive relationship with the symbiote, and after a while got the attention of Spider-Man. But with Lee's new powers, he was able to spit venom onto people and take control of them, and formed his own gang. And Spider-Man became one of them. Lee would take on the name of Maniac while he was bonded with the Venom symbiote. Again, scumbag. Groot. So there was a Guardians of the Galaxy storyline based on Venom going back to Clintar's planet of origin. It didn't make the trip without conflict. Joined with Flash Thompson, Venom became more unpredictable until a fight with the other Guardians finally nullified him. They kept the symbiote in a containment jar, which it easily escaped when carried by Groot, and then attached himself to the giant tree. Groot was an impressive looking Venom and ran around constantly shouting, "I am Venom." It didn't stay with him for long, however, though. It did bond to the other Guardians before they were able to nullify the threat. But Pop Funko have recently decided to cash in on this with their own version of Baby Groot Venomized. Cute yet deadly. Benroy, the Scarlet Spider, everyone's favourite clone. During a storyline when the Carnage symbiote escaped from Ravencroft prison, Ben bonded with it to stop it from harming anyone else. And it looked badass. That is scary looking. That is what I imagine Spider-Man to look like, bonded with the Carnage symbiote. Now, in the end, he kept himself under control long enough for John Jameson to drive it out with some microwave radiation, which forced it to return to Cassidy. But there were some adventures with Benroy attached to the Carnage symbiote, and he makes his list because that's just awesome. Gwen Stacy, Ghost Spider. In the aftermath of a storyline where Gwen lost her powers and she had to deal with that loss and the need of isotopes to regain her powers, she agreed to become her Earth's Matt Murdock's apprentice in exchange for unlimited isotopes. Murdock and scientist Elsa Brock, nice little homage there, eventually found a way for Gwen to regain her powers and get rid of the lizard serum from Harry Osborn. They done that by combining the serum with the isotopes and formed their own Venom symbiote that worked out, and the symbiote attached to Gwen, creating Gwenom. And Gwenom was an amazing storyline going on in SpiderGwen that I think everyone should read, and she makes this list mainly because that is, in my opinion, one of the most awesome looking symbiote costumes that has ever been. That is unbelievable. The hoodie just makes it. X-23. Just like her regular Earth 616 version, Laura Kinney was created in a facility as a clone of Wolverine and raised as an assassin. On a fifth attempt to escape the facility, she was cornered in a lab and accidentally punctured a tank that contained the Venom symbiote. Venom symbiote emerged and bonded to her and created this scary looking X-23. This all happened during the Venomverse event in Marvel Comics, where a lot of heroes became venomized, but X-23 was one of the sickest looking. Silver Surfer. Yeah, you heard that right. After the Silver Surfer was forced to bond with the Carnage symbiote, the symbiote took over him and formed Carnage Cosmic. He fought against the likes of Spider-Man, Justice, Firestar, and the Avengers and beat them all before flying off to cause mayhem wherever he went. Now, that is just a scary concept. Silver Surfer with all his power mixed with the power of the Carnage symbiote. I would not like to encounter that beast ever. Has there been a more powerful combination of host and symbiote than Silver Surfer Carnage? Deadpool. We all know Venompool from Contest of Champions, but he was actually in the comics. Venompool was created by Sean Mall and Rick Remember for an alternate storyline called What If the Venom symbiote possessed Deadpool. In that reality, Deadpool was hired by Galactus to kill the Beyonder, but ended up chilling out with the Beyonder, becoming friends. Then Spidey showed up and was begging Beyonder to remove the Venom symbiote from him. The symbiote left Peter and clung onto Deadpool instead, and Venompool was born. And Venompool would make a reappearance again in the Venomverse event in Marvel Comics, the same one with X-23, and Venompool just looks like Deadpool on steroids with rabies and Hulk's rage. Like, that is an impressive beast. It wasn't the only time that Deadpool has been merged with the Venom symbiote. During Secret Wars, Deadpool was introduced to symbiote that went on to become Spider-Man's black costume and eventually Venom. Okay, maybe that was Deadpool's Secret Wars. But did you know that after Spider-Man rejected the costume, it went back to Deadpool on rebound and they went on adventures together? You didn't? You know now. This is all part of Deadpool's Back in Black storyline, which Deadpool claims he had the symbiote before Spider-Man. And it was actually quite a funny event and a really enjoyable read. A merc with a mouth with a really long tongue. Flash Thompson. Now, Flash became a new Venom when he was enlisted as part of Project Rebirth 2.0. He was bonded with the symbiote, recently taken from Mac Gargan by the US government during the siege of Asgard. While bonded with the symbiote, he was able to reproduce his legs that he had to get amputated due to war injuries, and he was given powers that were comparable to Spider-Man. Flash and Venom together made Agent Venom, and he made his debut in Amazing Spider-Man number 654 in 2011. As Agent Venom, Flash was a member of many teams. He joined the Guardians, which was how Groot, as mentioned earlier, ended up with the symbiote. He was on the Secret Avengers, and he was his own hero as well, and people began to love Venom as an anti-hero rather than a villain. The Flash did lose the symbiote for a while, and it went back to Eddie Brock,
and in recent times he confronted Brock and tried to have the symbiote returned to him, but while the symbiote was having a game of do I prefer Mammy or do I prefer Daddy, it latched onto both Eddie and Flash until Spider-Man arrived and overturned a vat of anti-venom developed by Alchemax on top of both of them in an attempt to kill the symbiote. Instead of killing the symbiote, the serum turned the portion of it that was bonded to Flash into the new anti-venom and transformed Flash into a colour inverted version of his Agent Venom form, and he would be known then as Agent Anti-Venom. Now, before we get to what we think is the most awesome symbiote host, there's some honourable mentions. Going back to Groot, we said it merged with the rest of the Guardians, so we have Venomized Rocket. He also merged with Drax during the Venomverse event. We have Venomized Doom, Venomized Daredevil and Elektra, which look amazing. We have Wolverine. He has bonded with Wolverine in a few alternate storylines. We have Telkar, or as he likes to be known, the First Host. There's Venom 2099, the Venom from the future. And last but not least, Venomized Captain America, Norman Osborn. Yep, Norman Osborn. And during his pursuit to regain his Green Goblin persona, Norman Osborn sent 2 henchmen to recover the Carnage symbiote, which was held captive in an old temple. The symbiote was brought to Mr. Osborn, and it quickly bonded with him. Carnage symbiote, everyone knows what it's like, tried to assert dominance over Norman, but Osborn managed to convince the symbiote that it would save her death if it allowed him to remain in control. He then had the Carnage symbiote remove the nanoids that were placed in his body that prevented him from becoming the Green Goblin again, which then merged him into the Red Goblin. The Red Goblin gets number 1 on our list. 1, because that design is scary, sick. 2, because he's complete evil. Like, he gave us moments like this, where he gave his grandson some of the Carnage symbiote. That's just wrong. And 3, because not only did the Red Goblin basically almost get Spider-Man to retire after badly beating the crap out of him, but he also, spoiler alert, fatally injured Flash Thompson. He wiped Agent Anti-Venom off the map. That's it, like he took him out. It took a lot to bring the Red Goblin down, but I won't take all of that away from you. You should definitely go read The Amazing Spider-Man up as far as issue 800. It is an outstanding run and a scary ass symbiote. So, the most awesome symbiote host for us goes to Norman Osborn, aka the Red Goblin. Thank you for watching. If we missed any symbiote hosts that you think should have been on the list, comment down below. Let us know. We always love hearing different opinions. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave that comment, and tune in for more. We'll be back on Tuesday.